Hi, and thanks for joining us for our Facebook Live tonight. And we're going to paint this bed, the rails, and the footboard, all using the wonderful Heritage products tonight. And we want you to sit back and watch the timer. Occasionally, Craig is also doing the video with me tonight. He's going to take a look at the clock. It's 8:01, so right when we start, we want you to see exactly how long it takes with no priming and no prep of this paint product whatsoever. It is the most incredible paint I think I've ever seen, actually. I started to paint the bed in a color called Amalfi, which was a very bright turquoise, and then I decided that that was a little bit too bold. Even though I do plan to use our glaze on top, I decided that I'm going to go with our color called Verdigris, and it is a pretty sage green. I'd say it's a little brighter than a sage. You can't. So
it's just building. The building only got 4 people.
It's okay. It's okay. It's how it works. Okay, so here we go. I am also going to be using tonight the incredible True applicator sponge, and that's how I'm going to accomplish this. So the first things first, what I want you to do is get in here and really stir the paint. If you're using the Heritage Collection products, you have to know it takes about 2 minutes of good stirring to really get everything worked up from the bottom of this jar. If you don't, your paint will not act and perform and give you the coverage that you need, because all of the good stuff is in the bottom of this jar. So get a stir stick, not a spoon, not a screwdriver. I've seen people do it with everything, but you have to have something flat to really turn this paint. It's very thick and rich. So what I'm going to do, since I'm using the True applicator sponge, I'm going to pour it out onto the plate, and I'm going to then use this applicator. So here we go. So right now it is exactly 8:03, and I'm going to show you how quick that we're going to go in here and paint this bed. I'm going to put on the first coat as kind of my scratch coat, and I'm not going to really worry about how it looks, although I am going to try to do it as best I can, obviously. But just give it a coat and get this paint on to the bed. There's a lot of detail here, so I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to go in here and work out some of this detail so I can get it down in the grooves, down in all the lows, and then hit it again with a sponge. We are working right in the bedroom where this bed is and where it's going to be when it's finished. So we put down some drop cloths. I'm not the neatest painters, but you can work right with this product in your house. I would advise you, it doesn't come out of things very easily. And also, if you get it on the lid of the jar, be sure and wipe it off before you put the lid back on, or you cannot get the lid off. It is that strong. All right, I'm going to bend and get these legs. I always say this to painters: the worst dead giveaway that you've painted something is not painting all the parts that you think nobody sees. So it's very important that you get down, you paint the rails on the back, you paint everything that would be painted on a factory finish. If you want to get prime dollar out of something, say you're selling your products, you have to paint it like you're going to sell it. And I want something in my home to look like it's painted well, not a terrible job. So always be aware of that. So I have a nice brush, one of our Syntec brushes here, just because I want to go in here and work out the detail. Get down in the lows and start covering this part. Makes it a little easier. And now, again, I don't really want to worry about all these brush strokes, but I want to get as much out of this as I can. So my next coat will be the finish coat. All of this little detail, I'm going to come back in with our gray and brown equally. It's called Weathered Wood. It's a glaze product that we made specifically for this, for the Heritage paint products. It's between a gray and a tan, or a brown, sorry, equal parts. So you can't really tell if it's gray, or you can't really say that it's either, really. And the great thing about it is it looks good on all the colors, even over the black, or iron gate, as we call it. Now, we have a fan on in this room, and hopefully it will start to dry this paint as I work my way over to the other pieces, and then I'll come back and second coat this with you tonight. I want to show you from start to finish exactly covering this bed head to toe what it's going to take to finish it. Now I'm going to be real careful here and not to get this on the wall. And I always stipple, and you can stipple this paint too. This paint stipples beautifully. Now I'm going to set this bed up to really fine tune all this behind here without taking a chance on getting this on the wall. So everything I can reach with my brush, I'm going to do right now. Everybody tell me where you're from. If you got online with us, give me a shout out to the city that you're from, where you're watching from tonight. I'm curious to know what our reach is and what country you're in, if you happen to be from another country. Have any comments on there at all? Can you see and see what this paint's doing? You have any comments, Craig? Can you see them?
Jennifer Ryan's from Nebraska.
Great.
Cheryl Estel's from New Mexico.
Hello, girls. Thank you for joining us.
Annie Olmsted from Orlando.
Great. Hi, Annie.
Annette Hill from Oneida.
Hey, that is my buddy. Hey, Annette.
Rhonda from Buffalo.
Hey, Rhonda.
Judy from Columbus, Indiana.
Wow, everywhere.
Levon from Tennessee.
What city are you from, Levon? I'm a Tennessee girl, too.
Heather from Fort Wayne. Hey, Melissa joined.
Oh, Melissa Osborne
Nicole from Astoria, Oregon. Kat Newport from Cleveland, Tennessee.
That's my girlfriend from Oneida also. Hello.
Misty Morales from New Orleans.
I always get good support.
John Southard III from Hawaii.
Wow. Too bad we can't be there with you, John.
Anita from St. Mary's, Ohio. Doris from Dayton, Texas. Levon is from Pioneer, Tennessee.
Oh, Pioneer, Tennessee. All right.
Carlene Terry from Robbins, Tennessee.
That's another girlfriend of mine.
Leslie Morris from Ohio. Kathy Grove from Columbus.
That's our retailer. Hi, Kathy.
Teresa Phillips Terry.
That's my girlfriend.
Kimberly Gruber. Lori
Lots of,
Fornero.
oh, that's my
She's
friend
loving
too.
the look. Rhonda King from Spokane. That's why
Wow.
I'm from Rhonda. Shayla Park graduate here. Jessica from Charleston, West Virginia.
All right, girls, we're knocking this out. It's getting there. I know it doesn't look great at the moment, but hang tight. I shouldn't just say girls. We had some men on there, didn't we?
We had one from Hawaii.
All right, don't go away.
Joe Fall from Boston.
All right, I want some guesstimates on who can guess how long this is really going to take me to finish this bed. Give me some numbers, girls.
So far, we're 7 minutes into it.
All right.
Heather Johnson loves the color.
Great. Do too. I think it's looking great. I'm going to show you this room when I finish this room, when I finish redecorating this room.
Sarah Barton from Saratoga Springs.
Ladies, if you have questions, ask away. I'll do my best to answer them.
Carlene Terry is guessing 30 minutes.
30 minutes for the whole bed, head, foot, and rails. Carlene, you really believe in me, girl. That's all I got to say. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I might be passed out on the floor by then, but I'll get it done. Okay.
Joe Fall says, "Go Pats." Who are they? You still have a team up there, Joe?
Careful now. Don't make Joe mad. Oops, got it on the wall.
Got a question from
Shoot.
Lori.
Lori.
What color is this? She might have joined late.
This is verdigris. This is the Heritage Products verdigris. Oh my.
Verdigris. Now it looks like we're gonna paint the wall in the same color.
Maybe a little slight coat of that going on. Okay, we're gonna walk over and I'm gonna start painting the rails so I can let this have a little bit to dry.
Bobby Beach, the color is verdigris.
Verdigris? Well.
Hard to hear, somebody said. You gotta speak up.
Oh, sorry. Normally you want me to shut up, so I'm talking not so loud, huh? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do the rails. I'm gonna kick that light around here. Maybe you can see it a little better. All right. So I have these set up on a chair because I don't like to bend. And I'm just gonna do the best I can to get this side, and obviously I'm going to paint both sides. But one at a time. And for tonight's sake, I'm going to paint one side. Okay, plastic might not be the greatest.
Joe Fall asked, is no priming necessary?
None whatsoever. There's a primer above and beyond, a chalk type primer in this. And I'm telling you, if you've ever used our Ultra Guard primer, it's an extra step, but this product would remind me of what Ultra Guard is, and it's not just Ultra Guard in this paint. I can't answer the chemical part of it, but I can tell you that we have had painters, actual professional painters, even a man here in Louisville, and most men don't pick the phone up to call and tell you about it, but he had bought the paint product here in Louisville from one of our retailers here in town and called to tell us that it was the best primer. He couldn't believe it. He had used a lot of paints that had a built-in primer, and this was way beyond what he was even expecting himself. So he was painting a kitchen. Now I will warn you, this paint is going to dry in a low sheen, just exactly what you get when you finish your chalk paint. It's not going to have a sheen, it's not going to shine. It has just a low luster, and it feels incredible actually. It has a wonderful soft feel to it, so it feels like it's been waxed. So it's kind of a revolutionary product in its own way, and I have to give props to Nick Lanning. He's the man who designed the product, and we've worked on this for quite some time, and really just were able to bring it to market recently. So if you're just now hearing about it, I urge you to order yourself some, try it. I put the link there online so you can see, right, so you can go to it. There's only 12 colors available, so it's not in a bright array of colors. It's more what we call our European or Gustavian colors, and it's kind of about being soft and nice and more of a gentle color palette. So it's not the artsy product like Heirloom. It's a lot less layered, a lot less steps, and pretty easy if someone just wants to get right to the nitty-gritty of redoing their kitchen cabinets without steps and layers. So that's really what it's about. It's not formulated to be something that you have to learn to use or something like that. It's the simplicity of it, giving you that look with a lot less steps. All right, so now once this is dry, I'm going to go over and try to work on this footboard. Hang with me. I don't know if you all are aware, but we're doing tomorrow a live broadcast here on Facebook again with Home Talk, and we'll be using a new product that we have there. It will also be the Ultra Guard primer that I was just talking about that we have, but we'll be using Ultra Guard primer and doing countertops. So it's going to be a super, super neat way to refinish your Formica, or maybe just a color you don't like any longer in your Corian or whatever you want. You can use this product to go over it. So, all right, so I'm going to put this one here and try to bend and do this one. All right, so, wow, never mind the dust. I didn't dust it, I just paint that in it. It's part of the texture. Oh me, hang on, I have to move this out of the way. So you can see what's going on. Now, again, if you're just joining us, I want to be sure and tell you what we're doing. We're using the Heritage Collection paint products from Heirloom Traditions. They don't require waxing, they don't require a primer, and they're fairly just super easy. Actually, I have the paint sitting here, this true applicator that we offer, as well as my brush, just so I can get in some tight areas. And I have a glaze. And the glaze is another unique product to the Heritage Collection. The only color it comes in is weathered wood, and it goes on to the paint if you want it or if you choose it. So you want that layered European look and you want to have some interest in your details and things like that. That's when you might choose to use it, but you don't have to use it. Say if you paint your kitchen cabinets. Another thing we offer in this product are kits. So there's a kit available for kitchen cabinetry that would contain the paint and the glaze, a brush, the instructions, everything you need to start painting your kitchen. Now, we also have a furniture painting kit in the same scenario, just in a smaller version of the kit. So you can get this and walk home and not worry that you don't have what you need to get started. So that's kind of the beauty of it. We made it simple so you can just walk in, purchase it, or purchase it online and realize you have everything you need. So if you're painting your kitchen and you get tired, maybe you get all painted and you want to glaze it, but you don't feel like you want it. Today, you don't want to glaze it. Maybe you come back in a month and glaze it. You can do that. You don't have to do it. It's just a step. It's there. If you want to do it, you have it. You don't have to do it. So that's kind of something I love. I know that once you make that trip around that kitchen a couple times with paint, I'm not really sure I want to go around it again and start glazing it. So knowing that I have it, I can go back and do it once I get my wind again and the time and so on. Anyway, I'm going to glaze this bed. I'm not going to glaze it in this video, obviously, because it's got to dry thoroughly. But I am going to glaze all the detail and everything and bring all that out. And I'm just going to tone this bed down from this hot kind of a color to more of a muted and soft green. The bathroom that joins in this bedroom is all these beautiful turquoise and green colors. And it's really a white bathroom, but it has all that decor in there that's in the green family. So just kind of wanted to make this go along with that look. And I love this cherry bedroom suit, but it just kind of bored me a little bit, so I thought, why not? Let's make it fun. So I'm going to do the whole room around this bed and the other pieces. There happens to be a dresser with a mirror that's really cute. Kind of an odd highboy dresser, and I'll do that. All right, girls, any questions? Anybody else joining us? What city are you from? I'd like to hear from you.
They're asking questions and Melissa in the office is answering them.
Wow, Melissa, do you ever go home, girl?
She might be at home
She's
now.
at home. I hope she's home.
She's answering questions.
All right, good deal. Give me some. Mel, shoot me some questions. Let me help. I don't want to have dead airspace. Heaven forbid I would ever not talk. We wouldn't know what to do. By the way, this brush I'm using again is our Syntec brush, and of course I love the foam applicator, the true applicator that we offer, but I have to say I like the Syntec brush equally as good. So putting on this first layer especially, I mean, it's really, really easy to apply paint using this brush. And it loads up, it's really full, doesn't drip, and it lets me get in all the little cracks and crevices that I need to push the paint down in. And it's really not leaving a drop or a run or anything anywhere. So
Becky Colley asked, what prep work do you have to do to your cherry wood pieces before you start painting?
nothing. That's the beauty, Becky, of this paint product. It requires no priming, it requires no prep, no sanding, no deglossing. Clean it. I didn't do that. Don't always follow me, but clean it and wipe the dust off, but that is all you have to do. This paint has an ultra bonding property in it, well beyond what a chalk paint is always known to do. It does dry and feel like a waxed chalk paint. It doesn't require a wax top coat to be finished, and it has an ultra low luster, feels incredible, but it doesn't require an additional step. It's really a one step. That's why we call it all-in-one paint. Brush it on, one and done. It's a truly one and done paint. So I posted the color card below the video link for tonight, as well as the link to the products that you can look at online so you can see all the colors. If you are interested in a color card, we can get that to you too. This product is available at Do It Best Hardware, and we are not in all the Do It Best stores yet, but we are working on being in several more, and we are right now in some other retailers around the country, and you can check online and see those.
Aaron wants to know, I'm wanting to paint my kitchen cabinets. Any advice on how to go through the process? How would I seal it?
You don't have to seal this, Aaron. Is this Aaron as in Aaron as a male or a female? So it helps me.
That's a female Aaron newbie.
Hi, Aaron. Aaron, if you're not familiar with this paint product, I've been going over what it is and what it really is all about. And the reason that we're talking about this paint product is it's designed to not require a prep or a sanding in the beginning or a primer. It's built into the paint, as well as no need to seal or wax this paint product. It does have a low luster sheen to it when it's finished, but a very low luster. It's supposed to look like and feel like a chalk paint that has been waxed. So your cabinets would be protected from as soon as you finish painting. You don't have to put an additional step into this product. Now, if you want to do that, we do offer a glaze that will tint your paint when it's finished. It's in a weathered wood, and it will give it a soft grayish finish if you want to do that, which is exactly what I plan to do to this bed. I am going to grayish it down. So if you'll hang with us, you'll see this bed finished, and then I'm going to come back with the finish shots once I get the bed done with the antiquing gel applied. All right, I'm down on my knees, girls, guys, trying to get to the detail back here. I'm sure I'm missing some spots, but I'm trying to get it as much as I can possibly get my hand around there to see what's going on until I can lay this thing down. Okay, now, I do a technique, and I know you can see how this is drying. You see how it's lost its shine. Obviously it's drying, and that's what you're gonna get when you're done. You're gonna get this nice finish. It's not, I hope that doesn't sound rough. It feels very finished and smooth, even at this coat, so.
And that is at 20 minutes into it.
20 minutes, yep, good. Hey, I'm rocking and rolling here. That's the second coat, and you can see pretty darn good coverage right there. So if this were kitchen cabinets, you could stop at this point. You could put this right here on and call it a day. It is a self-leveling product also, meaning that if you get brush strokes, they're going to dry out. Now that doesn't say that you could use a big house paint brush and all the strokes are dry, but if you'll use a high quality brush, and in our kits we do provide the Syntec brush, or if you'll use a good chalk paint brush that you already own, you will get a very wonderful and smooth finish. And you can see I'm doing very little technique here. I'm really just smearing it on here, trying to work back into the detail of this thing. But you can see I'm really not putting a huge effort into it. Now, I am known as a stippling girl, and I stipple everything, meaning I go back and smooth out everything I'm doing with my brush and kind of put a little bit of an eggshell texture into it. And the reason I do that is because it moves the paint around and distributes it really evenly. But here, I'm not having that problem. So I'm just going to put it on there and let it roll. I don't need to go over and stipple this.
Kylie has a question. Will this adhere to laminate?
Yes, it will. If you want to do your countertops, if you'll watch our video tomorrow, you can do this. You can do your countertops in any of the colors that we offer from the Heritage Collection. And you can do it in the same steps that I'm using tomorrow, just with our primer and our waxes. So you could use this and not use the primer. You wouldn't have to use the primer. It's built into this color.
Jennifer wants to know what color it is. I'm going to take a shot of the jar itself so
This is
everybody knows.
verdigris.
It's called verdigris.
And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, I'm going to call it it's not really mint, in that it's equal amounts of blue and green. But now I'm going to think in the daylight that it's going to look a little more green than it does blue. I think these lights are playing on it. We do have a beautiful color called Amalfi that is a lot more blue to it, and I had thought about using that color. As a matter of fact, I posted, I was painting this bed in Amalfi, and then I brought both of them home and decided this was the winner. So, what's it?
Rhonda Schenkler says, when I paint in straight lines so I don't get brush lines. How can you paint like that and not end up with brush marks and paint lines?
Magic. I hope you're not seeing paint lines because they're really looking wonderful here. But this product is very thick, first of all, and it is a self-leveling paint. I know this sounds like this paint does everything, but pretty much it does. So it is leveling itself out, and then I'm using a wonderful brush. The Syntec brush that we have, this is our brush that we made ourselves, And we designed this brush with a very fine tip on the end. And what that means is, whenever that little fiber has gotten thin on the end, it puts very little stroke into the paint. So you don't see the linear marks that it makes. Even though it's dense and it's hard here, these hairs are full. And then toward the end, they're tapered. So that lets you get a lot of paint in the brush, and then also allows you to kind of ease back on your pressure, and then you don't get brush strokes. So I'm not that great of a painter. I just, I'm using good tools and I'm using good paint. That would be what I would say. And that was the reason I wanted to do this demo mainly. I just want to show you how you can accomplish this bed in just an evening. If you want to come home and knock one out and knock your cabinets out or whatever, just in a few hours without killing yourself, you can make this happen.
Paula, Elizabeth Moore would like to know, does it wash up with water?
Yes,
How is the odor?
There is very, very little odor. It is a low to no VOC. Matter of fact, it comes in under federal standards, so where we wouldn't even have to declare them, but we do. We have a truth in labeling law. The federal government asks us to provide the list. As you well know, the MSDS sheet does tell you all of those things, but it is well below federal standards of VOC emissions. It also, so she asked me about smell, and then it is a water cleanup product, yes. 100% cleans up with water, which is another thing, is a must for me. I just can't get over the coverage that I'm getting with this and the beauty of this paint. I hope this camera's picking that up. And of course, we're just working with an iPhone here, but you can see that this is just gorgeous coverage.
I would be remiss to not tell you that Dolores Cameron joined.
Dolores Cameron, my favorite person in the world. Hello, how are you? Your son is a fine cameraman, Miss Cameron. I guess that comes in the bloodline. Well,
Debbie Riddle says it looks really nice.
thank you, Debbie. She posted a project today, and I shared her video, and she really said she enjoyed working with the product. Debbie used cobblestone on her cabinet that she worked on, and I posted a little video of that today. It was really an adorable little detailed side cabinet. I'm not really sure exactly what you would call that piece. I think Debbie had her own name for it, but it was kind of in a, looked like a quilt pattern almost, and she went in and used cobblestone.
Melody Royce asked, can you wet distress?
You can wet distress, but there is one caveat to the wet distressing. Because this paint dries so hard, you have to do it quite quickly. You can layer this paint beautifully like you can others, but wet distress it when it's green. And I mean within the first, like as soon as that sheen is gone and you were wet distressing, that is the time. If you wait, just like I was saying earlier, if some of you just came on and joined us, if you buy the paint product, be sure and do not twist the lid on or back onto your paint canister until you've cleaned the rim. You cannot get this off. You cannot remove the lid if you get, and that's kind of a downside, but it's just a bonding property of this paint. It will not allow you to take the lid off if you don't clean it before you put it back on. So just, best thing to do is have a baby wipe here handy and just wipe the rim as you pour something out. Wipe the rim up and put it back on. That seems to be the easiest way. That way it's not dried paint that you're removing.
We just use one of our cats for that.
They are so curious. They've been trying to come in here, so they're on the other side of the door, I'm sure.
Susan Helm would like to know the final expense of the paint to complete this project. She's only tried chalk paint one time, but for the price it didn't go very far.
Well, Susan, I'm sorry you had that experience, and I hope it wasn't using heirloom that happened to you. This quart of paint that I'm using here will easily paint this bed and probably 2 other pieces, because it does go an extreme far amount. You can see I'm going to say I'm a little over 1/3 of the way in this, and I have a good plate full of paint here, so I'm easily going to paint this bed, head, foot, and rails, and this is a queen size bed. And I'm going to paint the dresser with it, and that is a $34.95, I think, for the paint. So basically you're going to be able to paint and transform your whole bedroom suite with only the paint product, or you might choose to add the glaze. So you're going to get out of, well, the kitchen cabinet kits, and Mel can answer this. I hope she'll come under me here and post those so you can see how much the furniture painting kit is and the kitchen painting kit. And all of those include all the tools that you'll need, including a brush and the directions, as well as the paint and the glaze. So I'm going to scoot this down so I can finish the bottom of this bed. I'm running out of spots. Okay, what's our timeline? What are we looking like here?
We've been at it for 29 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Carlene, you weren't too far off. She said I'm going to do it in 30. Miss a lot of my old friends. Haven't seen in years, since high school actually. I don't know that I've seen you, Carlene, since you've been in my store years ago.
Just to reiterate, Allison Cook asked, so with this paint you cannot distress after it dries.
You can after it dries, but just not after it cures. Now, curing and drying are two different things. If you don't know the difference, I'll tell you what the difference is. Once the moisture has wicked out of paint, which is exactly what the drying process is, but once the paint has shrank down and hardened down and the moisture is gone from the paint, that's what's considered cure. And you can feel it sometimes when you touch paint. If it has a dampness or a coolness to it, that means there's still moisture in the paint. And then if it feels flat and small and you can feel it, it feels like it's tight to the surface, that means that the paint has cured. It would be very difficult to use a wet sanding technique to distress this paint. You could use sandpaper and do it, but if you'll do it when it's green, meaning before it's cured, if you'll do it like as this begins to dry and the sheen is gone, that would be the time to wet distress this product. So, time is of essence, and just kind of plan that in when you're painting something with it. Just kind of make sure you're ready to go. I've got a damp rag over here, always by my side, so if I were to get a spot on something, then I can quickly get it off. So now I'm painting this a little too quickly because where I'm seeing any brush strokes is where it was too damp to second coat. But just for the heck of it, I'm going to continue on. If I'd let this really cure down a little bit and get some of the moisture out, then I wouldn't be reactivating the paint with a second layer. And reactivating it means wetting it or bringing back the moisture. I need to let it dry. But we'll keep on rolling because it will work. It's just going to take me a little more touch up. Now it's hard to see what's drying and what's requiring a little more touch. So anyway, I do love the color, I have to say. It's turning out really pretty. If you haven't joined our mailing list for Heirloom, I would ask you to go over to our website and get on our mailing list. We often have events and we often do pop-up giveaways that we've been doing recently at unannounced times, to where we will do a Facebook Live and give product away. So Lori, who's also on here, was one of our big winners at Christmas. And well, I don't know that you won. I know you won a coupon code. I think you... Anyway, so get on there and join us in our mailing list. And we'll send you out sometimes coupons and opportunities to save money. We also offer free shipping over orders over $75, as well as a free monthly gift that we give away. And it's always something paint related or one of our paint products. So joining the mailing list, if you're a painter or want to paint or you're repurposing furniture, what have you, it's a great time to get on that mailing list and take advantage of some of the things that we're offering.
Melody Roy asked, and does heat in the air, or as I see in the window reflection, the ceiling fan, do those have an effect on dry time?
No, but they do on me because I'm burning up. They have a huge effect on my mood and my attitude about wanting to paint in the middle of this room. Yes, they are affecting dry time. And I was hoping that would help us hurry the drying process along. And if you are working in a dry area, say Arizona, for instance, your paint's going to dry quicker. And if you're working in a humid area, like in the Florida area, your paint's going to dry a little slower, depending on the time of year, obviously. But all right, so this has got, you can see this is dry, totally dry. There's areas that are not, like here, But I'm gonna go ahead with my second coat. I would normally give this about a good 30 minutes to really dry, so my wet paint don't pull off my other paint that's not thoroughly dry. So I know you all know that, but I'm giving you some painting tips as we go here. There you go. That pulled off the wet paint pulled off my dry paint right there.
Michelle Silman just joined. She said she missed the first part of the video. She
Hi,
heard
Michelle.
the end of the painting countertops. Could you talk about that again?
Yes.
Do you need to use a sealer?
Hi, Michelle. Glad you're here, and let me catch everybody up to speed because everybody's coming on at different times. This product does not require a primer or a sealer. It's called an all-in-one paint because it's all built in to this paint product, meaning it has a primer above and beyond a standard chalk type paint. It does have a chalk finish when it's dry, just like it's been waxed. So it's going to have a real low luster finish, but it's going to feel nice and finished and smooth, not like an unfinished chalk paint. So it's not going to feel like a latex paint because it is not a latex. That being said, it is a wonderful paint product that there's nothing else to really compare it to. I don't know that there is another paint product like it. If you want to use our glaze over it, we have made a wonderful glaze. It's an antiquing gel. It comes in one color. It's called Weathered Wood. It's a tan and a brown, a gray and a brown equally. You can see the color. It's a beautiful color of grayish. So if you like grayish, this color looks super as a glaze product over even our Iron Gate color, which is a black. Believe it or not, it really warms that black and makes it very, earthy, maybe. But anyway, I'm going to use this product on this bed. Something else, if you've never used glaze products before, I have used glaze products before, and not when we were in the paint business many years ago, and I'm not a glaze fan, but this product has something else about it that's different. This glaze, it is open for 12 hours, and what that means in paint terms, open means that it is movable for 12 hours. If you put this onto your kitchen cabinets or onto a piece of furniture and you don't like it, up to 12 hours you can remove it with a misting of water and a rag. You can totally take it off and not take the paint off, but just take the glaze off. Or maybe you want to pull it back. Maybe you put too much on. Maybe it was just more than you wanted. You can pull it back. So you can manipulate it for 12 hours.
Kelly Craig asked if you wanted a clear satin sheen finish, can you still add Heirloom's top coat?
Absolutely. It is a waterborne product. You can still add any top coats to it. If you wanted it to have more of a sheen, that's up to you. Absolutely you can. You can put a high gloss on it if you want. You can put a urethane over it if you like.
And Sky Waterman says hello from Australia.
Wow, hello, hello. I think you win the button for the furthest away from Kentucky tonight.
Sheena Kingston says, do you have for wall paint?
No, I'm sorry, Sheena, we do not. We are strictly, the largest size that we sell are quarts. And the reason we only sell quarts is just so you know, I think there's always a question that why don't you sell it in a gallon? We sell it in quarts simply because it's easier to ship. It's easier for us to put it into a nice container that looks pretty at retail and looks good on the shelf. But also, a quart of chalk paint goes farther than a gallon of standard wall paint. So it's really, it would be, quarts are not even our #1 seller. People buy our sample jars and pints. And quarts, they are generally not doing something in that large of a project. So once you get familiar with the coverage of chalk paint, I know sometimes people they cringe at the price. They go, oh, that's just too much money to pay for a quart of paint. But in reality, it's really a bargain because of the coverage and how far it goes and how big of a project you can truly accomplish. The quart is what is in our kitchen cabinet kit, and that quart will cover a standard kitchen. Now, if you were to exceed that, say you have a bigger kitchen or maybe you want to paint your island another color, it's available as singles and off the shelf. It's available at retail, so you can just buy a fill-in or buy an additional color to go with or whatever you're doing. So know that if you buy the kit, it's a super value because you're getting this brush virtually for free, and that's a $39 brush. So, just mentioning that, I wanted to speak out and say something that we have a wonderful promotion that's starting with all of our retailers nationwide, Australia and Canada, that we are doing a free brush giveaway. This brush right here, this $39 Syntec brush of ours, and this brush will be free to anyone who goes in to one of our retailers and carries in with them a competitor's paint product or a competitor's brush. We'll trade that for a brand new brush. So if you have some used paint, something that you're not using, you want to go in and see one of our retailers all over the country, you can walk in with your old brush or your old paint, and we'll give you a brand new brush just for taking advantage of a demo. If you want to talk about paint, we're there to do that with you.
Sheena Kingston says thank you and hello from Denmark.
Wow, now there you go. Now that one, you may be further away. I don't know, that's Europe. Let's see who's further away. Maybe still Australia. Hi. And how do you say hello in Dutch? All right, girls and guys. Looks like we're on to painting the rails. Okay, that's about all I can put on this right now at the moment. You can see we're starting to dry up here, and I'll put a third coat on this probably, because I know then I'll get it all smooth and wonderful. All right, we're going to go on the rail one more time. What's our timeline looking like? 8:42.
We're at about 39, 40 minutes right now.
Okay, good. Not bad considering all the talking I've done. You know I can't do it without talking a lot. Wonder why. Oh, so back to what I was saying about our demo tomorrow on the wonderful Home Talk. We're going to be working on countertops and refurbishing your existing countertops. And we have a couple different finishes that we're doing. We have a gray version, which is kind of a soft pastel version of a gray stone look, as well as a little bit more of a warm one that is a brown and a gray combination. We'll show you both techniques, and I'm going to walk you through all the steps and show you how to transform your kitchen countertops with very little product. $79, I think, will get you all the supplies that you need. We put that together in a little package. Anything you need is just things from home. Nothing as far as elaborate products. But the little sponge is going to be something that you need, and that comes in the kit, as well as a chip brush. You need that to create texture and a few things. So those things are in the little kit that we put together, as well as our primer and the waxes that it takes to create that. So you'll see tomorrow, if you join us, how quickly we're going to roll through the steps. And just really how gorgeous they actually truly are when they're finished. Again, I'm going to paint one side of the rail and the bottom, and then tomorrow, I guess, when this is all dry, I'm going to paint the other.
Michelle Silliman asked if on countertops does it scratch? Also, how often would you need to repaint? Is it food safe?
Now, this is countertops I'm speaking of. Anytime that you're doing a finish on a substrate material such as a countertop, that's going to take a tremendous amount of wear and moisture and water and elements, obviously, cooking, cutting, those kind of things, and cleaning it with a harsh cleaner. Anytime you're doing a secondary finish on top of something, there's a risk of failure or that the product would not perform like it should. Now, we're coating over this with our hard shell top coat in our gloss finish. We offer a new product called 3D resin that if you want to put a resin top coat over your countertop, it goes on very easily, it brushes on, and you can get a permanent finish for your countertop. In the kit tomorrow, we're not using a resin simply because of the cure time. There's mixture issues and things like that that are a little bit more difficult than the process that we're showing. But as all countertops, the finishes that would be a sub finish on top of a countertop, this one is as bulletproof as any that are out there. You can and will have enough of the clear coat left over that you can go back and add clear over it once, like say a year in, and maybe it's begun to lose some of its shine around the sink or something. You can go in and clear coat it again. Simply just put on your clear coat. So you'll have enough product left over in a standard kitchen with the primer and the clear coat to do a bathroom and a kitchen. Obviously, it's Doesn't take a lot of product, and you'll see that tomorrow. We start at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be on probably about 40 minutes with the guys from New York. So be sure and join us. I think it's going to be fun. It's our first home talk. I'm really excited about working with the home talk people, and they've been awesome so far, and we look forward to all. Okay, guys. I've got one more rail to do. And I'm gonna, okay. Okay. And looks like I am gonna put this last rail up here and finish up in a Fallujah. It's been great. And Craig just informed me that my battery's dying on my phone. I thought I had it charged up, but maybe not. So I'm gonna quickly coat this. And it looks like overall, how long do you think a good estimate that it took me to really paint this bed?
Well, we've been going about 45 minutes right now.
Okay.
So I would say in
Less than an hour?
less than an hour, yeah.
Okay, less than an hour, that's fine, that's fair. Less than an hour, we had it ready really for the final coat and whatever else we want to do to it. We want to glaze it and those things.
Debbie Riddle asked, how do we log on to Home Talk?
Debbie, it's actually going to be a Facebook Live broadcast on Home Talk, but we will share that link on our page on Heirloom Traditions Paint. So just follow us there on Heirloom Traditions and you will see us go live. Or if you would like to check out Home Talk, which I would definitely advise you to do because it is a fabulous, fabulous resource for any DIY project that you're doing. And daily they have wonderful videos and all sorts of things. If you're not familiar with Home Talk, it's hometalk.com. So go check out Home Talk and see, it's kind of like Pinterest. You add your everything, well, I shouldn't say it's like Pinterest. It's a little easier to negotiate than Pinterest, in my opinion. You make yourself a profile, and if you have a project that you want to upload, you upload a video. You can share your video links there. You can share, basically it's a blog, and it's either a video blog or it's a photograph blog. So you have to be teaching something to be on Home Talk. You can't just put your picture up there and say, here's my beautiful table I painted. You have to show the steps, and you have to show the reader something that's engaging for them. So I love that about it because sometimes I go to Pinterest and I just get lost in the beauty and I forget why I'm there. So I know y'all can vouch for that. I love it, but I go there looking for X and come out of there looking for Y, and I'm 2 days doing it, so totally lose it. I thank you all for joining us here.
Jennifer Fountain would like to know, can you put this paint in a sprayer? Somebody else asked that as well.
Yes, you can. You can spray this paint beautifully. Now, to say it's going to get the same properties as far as it's going on thick and smooth, like with any paint sprayer, you have to water things down. So water is a friend of this paint, but that's not going to give you all the properties of what we're getting coverage-wise. And you all know that. If you spray paint, you already know exactly what I'm speaking of. But yes, it will spray. All of our paint products will spray, matter of fact. All the Heirloom Traditions paint will spray. And it sprays really well, actually. Okay, girls, guys.
Tracy Poole-Bellion just joined.
Wow, my girl. Hi, Tracy. Hope you're well, dear.
Better late than never.
Okay. She come on to see me flub up on this bed. I know what she... All right. Final touch on it. We'll go back and see if I can add any more paint to this. So if we could have got it to dry a little quicker, I think we could have really, but you can see all this is exactly where we're headed. And I wish I could put the grayish on here for you and show you what weathered wood in the glaze looks like. But I just don't think I can. Guys and gals and girls and boys here, I want to thank you all for joining us, and I hope this has been informative and you've enjoyed watching me stress out and paint and sweat as we finish up in doing our bed in under an hour. So come back and I'll post finished pictures of this bed. Maybe tomorrow evening I'll get enthused about it and come back in and finish it up and show you what it looks like as we finish off decorating this room and make it all in these beautiful pastel colors. Thank you so much.